Hi everyone, you're watching Good for the Game TV. We're back live on a Thursday night after taking a week off. Plenty of sport to talk about this weekend, plenty to bet on, and very pleased to be joined by Gary Lentin. Gary, you down in Cape Town at the moment?
Yeah, I'm actually in the office tonight, just doing a little bit of admin and everything, but yeah, back home in Cape Town. I was in town last week. Brent, you cancelled the show, didn't you?
Yes. I had school play on last week that I couldn't make. So, I couldn't make it last week, but good to have you back on, and quite a bit of sport on this weekend, Gary. And starting with the golf, I mean, it's probably too late to talk too much about the golf now because it's obviously on the go. But I know you were telling me before the show you like Brooks Koepka, and he's made a flying start.
What a start he made, and he made it look easy. That's the thing, you know. I mean, the truth be told, yes, you don't win majors or any other golf tournament on the Thursday, but, you know, things might get a little bit tricky this afternoon. And, I mean, yes, he hasn't won it. Of course he hasn't won it. That's why it's still 15-10. You know what I'm saying, Brent? But if you said to any one of these golfers today, you can make 2 under, because he's a tough golf course, make no mistake, and it's set up really tough as well.
Yes.
He would have grabbed it. And here the guy's made 7 under. You know, he's got the speed of the greens right. He's the best driver I've seen of a golf ball for a long, long time. His irons are fantastic. You know what I'm saying? You know, I just don't know why he doesn't win more tournaments. I think we've discussed it during the year. The truth is that I think that well, the truth is, now I'm going to say the truth is, the facts are that, you know, he only really concentrates on majors. I don't understand why, because this guy could win 40, 50 PGA events if he stuck his mind to it. There's no doubt about it. But one would think the form that he's in, to be honest with you, I never like to take short prices at golf, but I think that 15-10 is probably a reasonable price now. I'm just scrolling down. I went upstairs for a short while. And I mean, I don't know, maybe Tony for now. I expect him to make a bit of a run and get into the top 5. I would take him for a place. He's 1 under through 7. Otherwise, doesn't look easy. You know what I'm saying? Guys like Justin Rose, Schauffele, they're already 7 shots behind, Brent?
That's it. You know, the guys who went out early with Koepka this morning and can be 7 shots back. I mean, I watched a little bit of Woods' round. He was playing with Koepka, which certainly isn't easy. And Woods managed to come from +3. He actually got it back to -1.
Yeah.
And then he sort of slipped away. And the thing is with a guy like Koepka, I mean, look, I've had it before. I'm also on him, by the way, this week. I've backed him and I've backed DJ, who's made a bit of a slow start. But, I mean, I've had it before where my golfer's 4 shots clear after the first round and he falls apart in the second. But Koepka's a man who's won majors before. Mm. And like you say, maybe he doesn't win that many other tournaments, but I really do think for him, he'd rather end his career with 12 majors than, as you say, 50 PGA Tour events.
Sure.
And it's going to be some entertaining watching over the weekend. Just a quick shout out at this stage, Gary, to the guys on the live chat. See, Sean Nicholas is with us, Peter Paul, Vin Naidu, Emil Korf, one of our big winners a while back. He says, Gary, move aside so we can see your favorite horses. He's wondering if you've got a few horses written behind you on the boards there.
Tell you what it is. Okay, there's a bit of a story behind this. I've got Quinlan and Rainbow Bridge, right?
Right.
Tell you why. The story behind it is there's a guy, I don't want to mention his name. He had 2 huge bets with me, right? He needles me a lot.
Yeah.
For a coffee last week. And his 2 huge bets that he had that both got beaten were beaten by Quinlan and Rainbow Bridge.
Okay.
Up here, he sits there and he says, why do you like those 2 horses, you know? So I said to him, well, do you remember this race? He said, yeah, I backed the second horse, didn't I? I said, I didn't remember that. And I said, you remember this one? I backed the second horse that day. And it still hasn't dropped. That I'm doing it just to rub it in, you know.
Just to rub it in. It's going to drop at some point.
I'll take them all fairly soon, you know.
And Emil is saying you're confidently backing Rainbow Bridge at the Met was a great call. I think you were confident at that stage, eh?
I was indeed. You know what I'm saying? It was a great run. And I mean, he's obviously a big runner in the July as well. The July, I mean, we don't really spend a lot of time talking about horse racing, but you know, the July coming up to be a really, really exciting race. Will they run her warm? Won't they run her warm? There are a lot of questions. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to give another tip for Saturday, the 1900.
The 1900, right?
Right. There's a horse it's called Double Mint. It's ridden by Anton Marcus. I think it's about 4-1. I just want to go on my side. And I'll tell you, I'm not saying empty out, but at 4-1, he's big value. You know, there are other runners in the race, but I think Double Mint on Saturday in the 1900 is worth a few rand at 4-1 or better.
Right. Double Mint at 4-1.
Yeah.
The 1900. We got Sean Nicholas, who's watching the show live. He does enjoy his horses these days. Seems to do okay on them. I must admit, personally, I don't get too involved in the ponies except for the big ones like the July coming up. But there's, of course, plenty of other action this weekend, Gary. And we will have the competition guys for the live chat. We'll give the 500 Rand voucher away. I've got one of the Super Rugby games I want you to predict there. But there's also Manchester City up against Watford. Now, my team, Watford, they're making, I think, their first FA Cup final since 1984 when they lost to Everton. We did lose in the semi-finals. I think it was to Crystal Palace a few years ago. But, I mean, I wish we were running into any other team other than Manchester City in the final.
Well, I think that you'd be worse off running into Liverpool.
Yeah, possibly, yeah.
Liverpool side right now, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, of course, I mean, the way Man City dismantled Brighton on Sunday was brilliant, right? I mean, after going a goal down and all of a sudden, and when they went a goal down, Liverpool were a goal up. There was a stage when Liverpool were in the league, right? And they never choked, they never faltered, they didn't show any signs of weakness, you know what I'm saying? And I think that could be a problem for Watford, that this is a side with so much self-belief that they can score goals. The question is, who will play, who won't play? My next problem that I think that Watford will have, I think that Man City B side will be more dangerous than a Man City A side. The guys that want to make sure that they're still in the squad next season. They've got things to prove. They're fresh. You know what I mean? It's going to be a
tough... so they're hungry to prove to the manager that they want to be there.
Exactly.
I mean, the depth of that squad is unbelievable. I mean, I'd actually forgotten that Mahrez was really part of the squad.
Yeah, exactly.
He scored that third goal against Brighton, and you realize, I mean, what absolute quality to be able to call on, and to bring De Bruyne on as a substitute late in the game. I mean, what a pleasure to be a manager of a team like that.
Absolutely. And I think, let's also just give a bit of a shout out, you know what I mean, to Liverpool, who really put it in the whole season. They never got off Man City's case for one game, you know what I mean? They still got the Europa Champions League as well, Liverpool to contest at the beginning of next month with Spurs. So they've really had a hell of a season. The only downside from a viewer's point of view, from a spectator's point of view, is that how far clear those two top sides have pulled from the rest of the league. It's just crazy, Brent? They totally dominate. And, yeah, I mean, like I said off air just before we came on air, I think it's an absolute certainty. 6-10 over 2.5 goals. I absolutely love that for the FA Cup final. To me, that's a standout.
Well, I'm on your website at the moment, and I see match. I'm trying to look for an angle here on this one, and I'm the first to tell you I'm not backing Watford here, but I'm hoping they get amongst the goals. And I see Manchester City and over 3.5 goals at 1.63 to 1. That's just over 16-10.
Right.
That's a decent price. You know, I was looking at the stats between these sides, Gary. I think 5 of the last 6 or 4 of the last 5 games between them head to head have had 4 goals or more in them.
Look, that's just a Brent story written all over it, right? That he went for Man City and more than 3.5 goals, and it ends up 6-3 to Watford in the greatest.
One of those stories you could talk about for ages.
Yeah, I'd rather just go for the over 3.5 goals or whatever it is on alternative goals and do it that way. I think that I just want to see if somebody's telling me something here. I think that's really the way to play it, in my honest opinion. Just go for the over goals. I mean, you're a Watford supporter. Why go and shout against them? You know, imagine it's 2-2 and you've already got the over goals, and now you have to sit there and hope that City.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think over 3.5 goals will be about the 11, 12 to 10 mark. Probably that's the way to play it.
Yeah, I think that even if you think about it this way, even if they turn with a goal, you'd expect them to score 3 goals in the second half. If they turn with 2 goals or more, you're going to get the money, you know? Yeah, I think, to me, it's going to be a really high-scoring game. And for the guy who doesn't really care who wins it, that's the bet of the season, isn't it? Just get on and enjoy the game, have a few beers, and hope for goals all over the place.
Yeah, because you've got to fancy Manchester City also going to have the attitude of going out. I mean, they always do entertain and score goals anyway, but it's really going to be the case of like the real business now has been done, and they can go out there and really show off, if you want to put it that way. Watford ended the season very poorly, but I've also got a feeling that Watford do that quite often. They often switch off at the end, and maybe they had one eye on this fixture.
Did they get beaten the last day by West Ham?
They did, and I actually liked West Ham that day, but couldn't bring myself to back them.
Right. So I think that, and I think, I mean, they obviously had their mind on what's going to happen on the weekend. So, I think that just go for the over goals and hope for the best for you, Brent.
That's it. Well, maybe we'll do a Twitter competition on this game. We'll give some thought to that as we go through the show. Let's move on, Gary, to a bit of Super Rugby now. We've got 6 games lined up this weekend, and there's been quite a bit of betting. I've got to say one thing to you first up, Dave. What's happening to him? He hasn't registered his YouTube account yet.
That's useless, sir. I tell you, right, that man's gone on diet, right?
Yes.
So he eats broccoli. This is what his staple diet is now, right? He tells me a handful of scrambled eggs, 1 rasher of bacon, and some mushrooms. That's breakfast, right? Lunch, and he boils broccoli and cauliflower. But the office stinks, right? It absolutely shims out of sight, you know. And then for dinner, he tells me he has 2 chicken breasts, and he tells me he's walking every day. So I'm there to support him, and you know what I mean. But he is a little bit ratty, I'll be honest with you, Brent. So I'm going to give him until next week, but he needs to do that, and he needs to do the show this Sunday. I mean, this week, funny enough, I came out with all the lines myself because Dave had the weekend off, as it turned out. You know?
Yes.
So I did all the lines myself. I'm surprised that we're still solvent. But I guess that could change by Sunday or Saturday afternoon.
Good.
His results come through. If I think where I was out, I can't remember 100%. I think I was out mainly on the Bulls. I think I thought it would be 9.5, that type of area. The Lions, I was out a lot.
I know you opened up, if I'm not mistaken, I know the boys on our website got stuck in, I think, to the 13-10 Highlanders. I think you had.
Yes, correct. I'll do their money. I promise you now. I swear. I'll be honest with you. I bow to their superior knowledge, right? And I have to, you know what I mean? I'm not an arrogant guy that says I'm definitely right. But, you know, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And I'll be the first to admit it when I come back on the show in 2 years' time. But for me, the Highlanders, I can't see why the Highlanders are favourites in this game. I really don't know why. I just think the Highlanders overrated.
Okay, I've got to ask you one question, Gary. And by the way, Henrik Swart is saying, Gary, thanks very much for those early prices on the Highlanders and the Reds, because he liked that a lot. But I was so disappointed with their Lions' performance against the Waratahs, because I was on them on the minus. You know? And I thought they were shocking. And then afterwards it came out that the penalty count was something like 11-2 in their favour, with Eagle in second. So I don't know. I'm with the boys on the Highlanders here, but I guess that doesn't worry you too much.
You know what happened with me in that game? I was even stiffer. I laid a lot of the Lions minus 9.5, and I took back a lot of the Lions at 7.5. What did I do now? I laid the 9.5 on the Waratahs, and I took back the 7.5. Brent.
Okay.
So all I needed was a try in those last few minutes, right? That
yes.
was what I needed. And I mean, they just spent 4.5, 5 minutes there, never looking like they were going to score a try, unfortunately, you know. But I had everything to sort of nothing there, and I ended up with nothing as per usual. But having said that, I think you'll see a good performance by the Lions. I'm not a Highlanders fan, and I'm never going to be. So, you know what I mean? I'm sure, you know, Henrik and you guys will all get the money. I'm involved, and that's where I am right now. I'm firmly in the Lions camp, as you would say. She says, you know, you're getting old when I start to take on your sayings. I'm in the Lions camp, and so not like that poor kid that got bitten, but yeah, let's see who's right. I mean, I'm still like I said, you know what I mean. I'm happy to admit when I'm wrong. This one, I still don't think I'm wrong, but you know what I mean. In everything in life, Brent, there's an acid test, right?
Yes.
Acid test comes on Saturday afternoon at 3:00, right? At 5:00, we'll know whether I was right or wrong.
Yeah, well, soon we'll find out. Just to talk to you quickly about the first game, Hurricanes with the Huggiaris. I think there's been quite a lot of money for the Huggiaris. There was plus 13.5, plus 14.5 early in the week.
Right. Sort
of plus 11.5 now, because Bowden Barrett is missing from the Hurricanes, and I don't think they've covered a handicap when he hasn't played.
Right.
I'm imagining you guys have laid this, but I see you're now 8-10 the Hurricanes minus 11.5.
Yeah.
So you're starting to think that handicap's found its line now.
11.5 is the market. Let me ask you a question. If you substituted the J with an H, right?
Right.
How would you pronounce it?
Huggiaris. where I saw how to pronounce Huggiaris, and whether it's right or wrong, I don't know. It was Nick Mallet in the studio, and he says you've got to pretend you've got a cousin or something called Aries, and you hug your Aries. That's something stupid like that. No, anyway, that's how we got it. But hey, Gary, let's do the competition on the Lions. Let's do the competition on the Lions Highlanders game for the guys in the live chat.
Right.
So, guys, let's predict in that game who's going to win the game by the winning margin. And hey, throw the total points in so we can have a bit of a tiebreaker if we need to. So, who's going to win the game by how much, and throw the total points in a way. And that's the Lions against the Highlanders. Gary, what's your strongest bet on the weekend as far as the Super Rugby goes?
Let me go back here and have a look. Hold on 1 second. There are one or two that I've got strong feelings on. Phew. I'll be honest with you. I'm going to go with the Blues minus 5.5.
Really, eh?
I hate the Chiefs.
I see Emil saying he'd like the Chiefs plus 7.5 that you had early in the week. And I must admit, I looked at this and I was a little bit surprised that the Blues were such big favourites. They were beaten at home by 10 last week by the Hurricanes. And they just decide that lets you down all the time. I mean, this is coming from me. I love the Blues.
Yeah,
I think the Chiefs are the business there.
Really, eh?
Yeah.
I think that they've been poor most of the season. But this is a complicated week of rugby. It always is, you know. But this is a really, really tough week of rugby. You know what? Let me take that back. I'm going to stick with my guns. I'm going to say I'm going to go against the current and say the Lions are the best bet of the weekend.
Right. Okay. Should we make that the beat the cert this weekend, Gary?
But let's do that. Let's do exactly that. And I haven't had a really gone mad for a long time, right? I mean,
right.
Standard stuff for a while, right? So what I'm going to do, and if the Lions get beaten, right, let everybody put in their predictions, total points predictions, and
okay,
gets it on the number. I'm going to give them a 5,000 Rand free bet. Only if the Lions get beaten.
Okay.
Nobody gets it on the exact number. I'm going to give it to the closest. Total points combined.
Total points combined. Okay.
So just send in one number, 72.
Okay, I'll get the guys to tweet the number. They can tweet the points.
Yeah.
And then I'll monitor it. So, guys, I haven't put a slide up this time, but you can watch the show afterwards as well if you want to see. So it's GGGaming Gone Mad. You'll use the hashtag. You must tag me at Brent Graham, and we want to know what do we want to know, Gary? I've forgotten the total points, eh?
Yeah. If somebody gets it spot on and the Lions get beaten, they'll get a 5 grand betting voucher. And if they don't get it spot on, we'll give it to the person that gets the closest 2,500 Rand. Let's do it that way.
Excellent. That's great. So if you get it spot on a 5,000, if you're closest 2,500 betting voucher, that's on total points. I see lots of guys putting their points in now. Guys, we will run that competition on Twitter. Gary, not much else coming up this weekend, I don't think. I think we've got things like the Nedbank Cup Final on there. I just want to scan through and see what the guys are saying on the game as a matter of interest. Peter Paul says Lions by 7, 53 points. Emil, Highlanders by 5, 63 points. I must say, looking through here, we've got quite a nice mixture. Neil reckons Landers by 3, 60 points. Vin Naidu, Lions by 5, 58 points. So the guys are certainly looking for quite a lot of points there at Ellis Park, and I guess they probably will get that.
Well, is there enough points, Brent? 58 and 60s. Is that enough?
Yeah, it may not be. I mean, it may not be because the Lions' defense is awful.
You know, I think it's going to be a bit more, going to be a few more points in that game. You know what I mean? I'm thinking more along the lines. I'll be honest with you. I was going to say 69, but then obviously we're going to get all types of stories about that. I'm going to change it to 71. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
71. Remember the story? I don't know. I know you're busy and you've got it run, but remember the story? What was that thing called, the trombone? Were you on the show when they used to talk about trombone, Brent?
On the Betting World show?
Yeah.
I do remember that, yes.
You know, I wonder if any of the guys out there know what a trombone is, besides it being a musical instrument. You know,
we can ask them in the live chat, guys. Who knows what a trombone is, besides it being a musical instrument? Don't tell us what it is. Just say if you know or not, please.
You know. So yeah, so that's it. And I mean, Brent, I think let's take advantage of the sport this weekend because it does go into a slight lull. You know what I mean? We've got we've got a little bit more soccer, not too many. A couple of finals. We've got a great golf major going on. Good competitive Super Rugby. Couple of warm-up cricket matches, you know what I'm saying? Decent weather around the country. Let's get behind it, have a few bets, jump onto GGGaming, you know what I mean? We've got a few specials, and let's see where we go.
Excellent, yeah, looking forward to it. And of course, we've got the World Cups coming up in a few weeks' time. Can't wait for that.
We haven't done that. Remember, we gave that special on the Springboks only.
Yes.
We pushed them out to 16-1 or something crazy.
Yes. Did you get a few takers there?
We did. We absolutely did. Let's do the All Blacks this week.
Okay, All Blacks this week, right?
All Blacks this week. How did we do it? You have to phone in during the week and you have to place your bet. Am I right?
I think last time you set a time limit of 12 o'clock on the Saturday or whatever it was.
All you have to do is, I think, have 100 Rand bet, and then on the week on the sports side. I don't even think you have to do that. You don't have to do that. As long as you've got an account and everything, everybody that watches the show, but they have to be watching the show, your show. They can't be referred to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't go there and tell your mates it's for you guys and you guys alone. I'm prepared to lay up to 20,000 Rand for each punter. Let's do the All Blacks at biggest price in the world, 14-10. Brent, have you seen any bigger than that?
No, I think the biggest I've seen is 13-10.
Okay, 14-10 until the Lions kick off on Saturday.
Excellent. But they can just phone their bets in and say they watch the show.
Phone the bets in and just go for it, and you know what I mean. Just put their money in, and they got 14-10 All Blacks to win the Rugby World Cup.
Henrik Swart's already phoning. I see he says yes, please on the live chat there.
So that's great. And it is a special. Then you know what I mean. Jump in 14-10. It is the biggest price in the world, and it's going to last until Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. I doubt whether you'll see it again until the tournament.
Yeah, no, I think they'll probably shorten a little bit until the tournament. But so 14-10, that's New Zealand. You can phone in, just say you watch GGGaming Gone Mad, and you can get up to 20,000 of New Zealand there at 14-10.
You can even put 20,000 on. 28,000 to 20 will be the maximum that I'll have.
That 28,000 to 20 is your maximum. So there's a nice opportunity for you boys. Some of you may already have got the 16-1 Springboks in the back pocket as well. Although there, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen, you've done your money. But Gary, thanks very much. Been good chatting to you as always. Look forward to chatting to you over the coming weeks and seeing what other World Cup fancies you can stretch there.
Yeah, we'll do that, and it's been a great show. Now, we've given a few extra specials here, not the standard stuff that's available to everybody. Let's see where we go, and we'll talk next week Thursday, Brent.
Excellent. That was Gary Lentin. Remember, you can enter the Twitter competition, hashtag GGGaming gone mad, at Brent Graham, and we want to know the total points in the Lions v Highlanders game. Hit it on the nose, a 5,000 voucher if you're the closest, 2,500. So make sure you get involved with that one. I think those of you guys who regularly enter our Twitter competitions will have a go at that one. Of course, the Highlanders have to lose the game. So, no, sorry, the Lions, I think, have to. Let me not get this right now. Gary went for the Highlanders, so the Highlanders have to get... Sorry, Gary went for the Lions, so I'm getting myself tongue-tied. You know what? It's got to happen. Gary's bet has got to lose. He fancied the Lions, so they've got to lose the game. Guys, thanks very much for joining us in the live chat. Sorry, I got tongue-tied right there at the end, but really looking forward to the handicap. I think some of the boys coming on the handicap show got some strong fancies, including myself. So make sure you're back with us in about 9 minutes' time, and tell your mates to join us as well. The more supporters we can get for the show, the better. Let's hit those bookies hard. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Subscribe below the channel, and we'll see you in a few minutes.